Foundations of Math 2, Unit 6, surface area. So we're going to go back through, like I said, and do the surface area of all the things that we did the volume of before. So the formula for surface area, having your formula sheet nearby is always helpful. My surface area here for the formula of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. Surface area is the sum of the area of all the faces of the object. For a sphere, you have to have the formula, but for most other things, you'll have to just find the area of each face. That's the easiest way to do it. So here, we're given that the surface area is 4,536.46, so we're going to solve for our radius. So 4,536.46 is going to equal 4 pi r squared. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4 pi. So I've got 4,536.46 divided by, in parentheses, 4 pi. And you get 361. To undo the squared, you're going to take the square root of both sides, and you get 19. And this is in centimeters. The next one, we have a cone. The formula for surface area of a cone is pi times your radius times your slant height L plus your radius R. So sometimes they'll use S for slant height. Most of the time I see L, so that's what I'll use. We're given our surface area is 320.44 meters squared. Our radius of this cone is 6, and we're looking for our slant height, and then plus the 6. So you could distribute this pi 6, but I am going to divide both sides by pi 6, or by 6 pi. Again, whenever you do that, you need to make sure you put it in parentheses. And you get 16.999, which is 17. And that's going to equal my slant height plus 6. If you subtract 6 from both sides, you get 11 equals your slant height, or my slant height is 11 meters squared, not squared, because it's just the height, 11 meters. Surface area. The formula for surface area of a right cylinder is 2 pi r times my height plus my radius. So my radius is 5, my height is 12. My surface area is going to be 2 pi times 5 plus 12, or times 12 plus 5. And I'm just going to plug that straight in. 2 pi times 5 plus 12 plus 5 is 48. Oh, I had to put a plus, sorry. Not the plus. Times 12 plus 5. And you get 534.1. So my surface area is 534.1 feet squared. Surface area is just like how much wrapping paper it would take to cover something, something like that. The next one, the surface area of a cone. My surface area formula is pi times my radius times my slant height plus my radius. So here my slant height is 19.3 and my radius is 7. So my surface area is going to equal pi times 7 times 19.3 plus 7. Plugging that straight into my calculator, pi times 7 times 19.3 plus 7, and you get 578.4, and this is meters squared. Square pyramid, the formula for surface area, you are just going to find the sum of the area of all faces, or sides of it. So I'm going to have my bottom part, which is a square. So I've got my square. And then I've got these triangle faces. Because this is a square pyramid, all of my triangles are the same shape. So then I've got 4 of my triangles. So my square is going to be 8 times 8, which is 64. My 4 triangles, I have 4 times the formula for area of a triangle. Area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So for my triangle here, the height of that triangle is the slant height, which is 7. So 1/2 my base, which is 8, times my height, which is 7. So now I'm going to plug that in my calculator. I have 4 times 1/2 times 8 times 7, and you get 112. And then I'm going to add that to my 64. So my surface area is going to be the 64 plus the 112. And you get 176 centimeters squared. The next one is a rectangular pyramid. Again, it's the sum of the area of the faces. So I've got my rectangular face, which is my bottom. My rectangle, which is going to be 16 times 12. 16 times 12 is 192. Now, because it's a rectangle, I'm going to have 2 different triangles, because this one's base is 16 and height is 10, and this one's base is 12 and height is 11.3. So I have 2 times this triangle, which I'm going to do the front one first, which is 2 times 1/2 times my base, which is 16, times my height of that triangle, which is 10. 2 times 1/2 times 16 times 10, which is 160. And then I have the other triangle, 2 of this triangle, which is 2 times 1/2 my base, which is 12, times my height, which is 11.3. And you get 135.6 for that one. So now my area is the sum of all my faces, my surface area. So my surface area is going to be that 192 plus 160 plus 135.6. And you get 487.6 centimeters squared. All right. Surface area of a sphere has the formula 4 pi r squared. My radius is 8, so I'm just plugging that in. Surface area is 4 pi times 8 squared. Plugging that into my calculator, 4 times 8 squared is 256. So if it said to leave it in the terms of pi, you have 256 pi. So multiply that by pi and you'll get your exact answer, which is 804.2 centimeters squared. Rectangular prism, again, the surface area here is the sum of all faces, sum of the area of all faces. So I've got 2 of the front and the back. So I have 2 of those, 2 times my area, which is 12 times 3. 2 times 12 times 3 is 72. My left and right is 3 times 9. So I have 2 of those times 3 times 9 is 54. And then my top and bottom is going to be 12 by 9. So 2 times 12 times 9, which is 216. Add all those together. 216 plus 54 plus 72 is 342 inches cubed, squared. Now, the surface area of this one, now these get tricky. The surface area here is going to be the surface area of the cone plus half of the surface area of the sphere. But because those are sitting on top of each other, this circle that would normally be part of the cone will have to take away. So I'm going to start with half of my sphere. So I have half of my surface area of the sphere, which is 4 pi r squared, plus the formula for surface area of a cone, which is pi times my radius times my slant height plus my radius, but then minus this circle, which would normally be part of the surface area of the cone, but is now hidden by that part of the sphere. So minus the area of a circle there, which is pi r squared. So my radius for all of this is 6. And my slant height is the only other thing that I need, which we don't have. So to find my slant height, I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. This is 6, 12, and I need to find my slant height L. So 6 squared plus 12 squared equals L squared. 6 squared plus 12 squared is 180. Take the square root of that, and you get L is 13.4. Or your slant height is 13.4. So now I'm going to plug all of this into this formula. So I have 1/2 4 pi times 6 squared plus pi times 6 times 13.4 plus 6 minus pi times 6 squared. So I'm going to do this in pieces. I have 1/2 4 pi times 6 squared, 226.2. Here I've got pi times 6 times 13.4 plus 6, which is 365.7, minus my pi r squared, or my pi 6 squared, which is 113.1. Combine those together, and you get 478.8 centimeters squared. Square pyramid has a base measuring 5 feet by 5 feet. The height of the pyramid from the center of the base to the apex is 7. Calculate the surface area of the pyramid. So because this is a square pyramid, that height that's in there is going to cut this side in half. So to create this right triangle, I know it doesn't look right, but the right triangle there, that's the height here, which is 7. The side, which is half of 5, or 2.5. And then this would be L, my slant height. I need that to find the area of the faces of the triangles. So I have my square face, which is 5 times 5, or 25. But then I have my triangles, which I have 4 of them because it's a square pyramid, so they're all 5 the same base and height. So I have 4 triangles, which is going to be 4 times 1/2 times the base, which is 5, but we have to find that height. So 7 squared plus 2.5 squared equals my slant height squared. Take the square root of both of those, and you get 7.4. So now I'm going to multiply this together. I have 4 times 1/2 times 5 times 7.4, and you get 74. So then I'm going to add those together. My surface area is going to be the 25 plus the 74, which is 99. This is in feet squared. The next one, the formula for surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r times your height plus your radius. My height here, we found to be 15. So I'm going to use that 15. My radius is 11. My height was 15. Plug this in. Surface area equals 2 pi times my radius, which was 11, times 15 plus 11. Plug that into my calculator. 2 pi times 11 times 15 plus 11 equals 1796.99 or 1797. The next one, this one's going to be hard. Find the surface area and volume of this object. So we still have our surface area, our cylinders. We have 3 cylinders here. This one, these 2 here, I'm going to find the surface area of those cylinders. So there's going to be 2 of those, so the whole thing. So 2 times 2 pi r times h plus r without the area of this circle here and that same one on the other side. So minus 2, because there's 2 of them, times pi r squared for this, where it touches there. Then I need to find the surface area of this cylinder, but also without those 2 ends. So the surface area of this cylinder is, we only have one of them, so it's 2 pi r times h plus r without the 2 pi r squared again. So that's a lot. So my radius for this one is going to be 20, and my height for these 2 here is going to be that 4.5. The radius for this formula here is going to be this radius, which is 3. Same here, this radius is going to be 3. This height is going to be that 15. And then this radius is still going to be 3. So now I'm going to plug all of that in. So 2 times 2 pi times 20 times 4.5 plus 20 minus 2 pi times 3 squared plus 2 pi times 3 squared. Oh, times 3, not squared, sorry. Times 3 times my 3 plus 15 minus 2 pi times 3 squared. So I'm going to do this in pieces. 2 times 2 pi times 20 times 4.5 plus 20 equals 6,157.5. This might be easier if you don't do pi until the end. So I'm going to undo this one, divide this by pi. And I have 1960 pi for the first piece minus 2 times 3 squared is 18 pi plus 2 times 3 squared times 3 plus 15. So multiply everything together except for the pi. 324 pi minus, again, the same thing here, 18 pi. So I'm going to add all of those together. Oh, I'm sorry, that last one should have been 324. You shouldn't square that. That should have been 108 pi. 108 pi. So now I'm going to add all those together. I have 1960 minus 18 plus 108 minus 18. You get 2032 pi. Multiply that by pi, and you get your surface area is 6,383.7, and this one is in centimeters squared. The next one, my surface area here is going to be a little easier. I'm going to find the area of all of the faces, all 6 faces of this rectangular prism. But then I'm just going to subtract the area of these circles, 2 on each side. So my surface area, so my front and back is going to be 20 by 60. So I've got 2 of them, 20 times 60. My left and right is going to be 20 by 20. I've got 2 of those. My top and bottom is going to be 20 by 60. So that's that, but then I'm going to subtract these 4 circles. So the area of those circles, so minus 4 pi times that radius, which is 5 squared. There's 4 of them. So now I have 2 times 20 times 60 plus 2 times 20 times 20 plus 2 times 20 times 60. And I'm subtracting 4 pi times the 5 squared. And you get 5,285.8. All right, and we are going to stop there.